Hi, in this video, I will make a suggestion for how to do version control for collaborative documents that are using LaTeX. So what I do is if I have a shared project, typically on Dropbox, I have a drafts folder where we include all the writing of this project. And inside the drafts folder, we have subfolders that have the date of that specific version. And so inside each of these subfolders, we will have our tech document that we can all edit. This is the PDF version. We have any sort of style type files like these. We also have the BibTeX bibliography file. We also have a subfolder with images that we need to include in the paper. Now, what we would do is periodically, maybe every week or so, or whenever we feel like we've made enough progress, is just make a copy of this folder and just give it the current date. So for instance, July 6th. And then we would put this folder here into an archive like so. So in the archive, you see there, I mean, it's not particularly organized, this one, to be honest, but what would ideally happen in the archive is that we have lots and lots of versions of the paper. And so if we need to go back and retrieve something in a previous version, that would be very easy to do. Now, the reason you want to name it using the dates is because then when you sort by name, you're also going to be sorting by date, and it's very easy to go through all of these subfolders. And the reason you want to be creating these folders and not just new versions of this tech document is because you want to be able to go back to the whole state of a project. So basically, this is a very cheap and easy way to do something like what Git does. So if we go back to a previous version of the document, ideally all the images will correspond to that version of the document. The BibTeX file will also correspond to that version of the document, and so on and so forth. Because otherwise, if you want to go back in time, then suddenly your previous document won't really work because it's not, the tech isn't in sync with the BibTeX bibliography and isn't in sync with all the images and whatnot. And you really want to be able to go back and see what the state of your whole project was at a previous point in time. I also have here this public draft folder where we just put whenever there is a new clean draft, we just put the latest clean draft here, and then we sort of go back to work. And whenever we've reached a new milestone that we want to present an updated version of the paper, we put it here. It's not very important that this is in the drafts folder. So this is a suggestion for how to do version control with LaTeX, which I think avoids a number of problems and helps keep things organized. And so the important thing is to just, instead of creating versions of the whole folder as opposed to individual files, I think is the crucial thing. Now, it is possible that instead of having just one LaTeX file in here, you have multiple subfiles then that group together into one larger file. That's up to you. But still, if you do that, you would want to be creating copies of the whole folder and not copies of those individual files to make sure that you're able to revert back to the whole state of a particular project. And again, that's basically the concept behind Git. And this is just a very sort of simple way where you don't need to download any extra software or use command line stuff, but you can essentially achieve the same output. Now, if you want, when you're putting things in the archive, you can compress them or not. Typically, these things don't take up a lot of space. So even the images are very, very small typically. So it's fine because hard drive space is relatively cheap. it's fine to just create more and more versions of this folder, even every week or so. If that gives you the ability to just go back and undo any mistakes that you've done in the meantime. Right. Thanks for watching.